Welcome to a new edition of the Locked In Baseball Podcast. How we doing today? I'm joined by Luis Barranco, joined by the host, the man behind the machine, aka the Yankees machine, computer machine who sets all the lineups on a daily basis, the guy who produces the content, the Yankee fan, William Locke. How we doing today?
I'm doing good. It was a good day today in Chicago. Beautiful weather, beautiful Yankee game this evening. Nice, chill, relaxed game. Unlike earlier in the week, so it was a good Yankee game today. Good baseball all around today. So
Very good.
yeah, had a good day.
It is September 18th. Sorry for the extra energy. It's 10 o'clock. I took a nap, took a shower. I've been up since 6. Nice day at work. Got a nice lift in. Been hitting a lot of miles and running. And, went to the supermarket. Already made 5 pounds of chicken breast for the next week. Ready to go for my lunch. I'm hyped. I'm up.
I love it.
I don't know about you, but I'm up. I was tracking baseball at work. I had my 3 monitors at work with work, and then my personal computer with baseball in the corner in the back end. So I was absolutely dialed. I was locked in today.
No pun intended. I had a nice little walk after work this evening. About an hour, did 2.5 miles. Really enjoyable. I feel like just going on by yourself on a nice long walk. Obviously in the city, it's a little bit, more to see. But I got to say, walks are underrated. Great way to just get the body moving after a long day sitting at your desk, standing at your desk, whatever. Get away from the computer screen, put a podcast in the ears, or just walk around without headphones in. I feel like you don't really see that nowadays. But yeah, I got to say, good walk today. Definitely set me up for this Yankee game and this podcast today.
You know what I did today? So I left my phone in the car when I went to the supermarket, and I was like, I drove over from my gym because I'm really close to the supermarket. I turned off my phone. I turned off everything on my car. I just put the windows down and just listened to like I like to say, the voices and sounds of life. The birds, the cars, the train, like all that. It was quite pleasant. I really enjoyed it, to be honest.
I think I need to do more of that, honestly, to disconnect a little bit. I feel like, I don't know, nowadays with social media and just being constantly connected 24/7, it's too much. Like the phone is quite literally an extension of your human body at this point, the way we're on our phone so much. So I need to take some time, maybe this weekend, to just disconnect completely, go on a walk again. Obviously, I'll probably be watching baseball and football all weekend, but like stay away from the social media, the Twitter, the doom scrolling on Twitter. Ooh, I gotta lay back on that app.
No, man, for me, it's, like I go on walks and I leave my phone in my pocket in case of an emergency, but I just go, our gym group has started to do what we call a community walk. So it's like 5 or 6 of us that are really cool at the gym, and whoever's there, we finish our workout and then we just go on a walk on the water, walk to the park, and it's actually really nice. I mean, my legs hurt, but I mean, I'd rather my legs hurt than my brain or my heart. So that's
exactly.
No pun intended. No pun intended with that.
I agree. Good walk is great for the mind and soul.
But before we kick off, I mean, make sure you guys follow us on Twitter. Make sure you follow /X. Make sure you give us a follow on Instagram. Subscribe to YouTube as well, and subscribe to the TikTok. TikTok's doing numbers. I want to ask you a question, and I want to pose this question for the listeners. Other than probably your mom and dad, and your brother, your significant other, well, this might put you on the spot. Do you memorize their phone numbers? Like their phone numbers. Like now with like, because my whole point is with like you talked about the cell phone and everything.
Yeah.
Like I had one time in college where I lost all my contacts for a hot minute, and by a hot minute I meant like 2 hours, and I was like, oh my god, the only phone numbers that I know are like my parents.
Yeah.
And so I was like, it just makes you think like the phone literally makes you forget, like, growing up, we were told like, hey, you got to know your mom and dad's name. You got to know their phone numbers and your street address. That was something before you could go out of the house. So you go do anything, you had to know that. So I pose that question to you.
I only have my parents' phone numbers memorized. I feel like if I lost all my contacts, those are the only 2 I would know. Other than that, I'd be screwed. Yeah, I don't know anybody else's by memory.
Could you imagine like these like next generation and I see this because like in my profession right now, I deal with the next generation of humans, next generation of Americans coming up the pipeline. Do you feel like they know their like phone numbers, like your phone number, but like parents' phone numbers or a brother, grandmother, or family member?
I hope so. I mean, I don't know what's being taught to the kids these days. I have no idea.
It's a question for the listeners. I mean, we got to ask. I mean, everybody's
How many
on the
phone numbers do you have memorized? Is it just your parents? Is it more than 2 people? Yeah.
So it's my parents, my grandma's number
Okay.
for that house, and that's it.
Yeah.
I have your number memorized for some reason.
Don't say it.
I'm not gonna say it, but it's just like I got so used to I used to have iMessage on my laptop, but I didn't have the contact save. So I know your number really well, and then Armand's number really well. So I'm like, I know like in a pinch, I know like the first 6 digits.
There you go.
So,
all right,
let's get down to it. That's a question for the listeners. Make sure to let us know. I mean, we should just get to it today. A lot to talk about. As we always open up the podcast, we always do the Yankee Weekend Review with our resident Yankee fan, Mr. William Locke. William, how we feeling? The Yankees this week played the Twinkies, and they won 2 out of 3 in Minnesota. And then they went to Baltimore tonight and got the win 7-0. I mean, we got good reviews on the last podcast about our Minnesota little side note with the food, the Juicy Louie, the Love is Blind.
Juicy Lucy.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Juicy Lucy and Walleye, and then I can't remember the rest, but those 2 I remember. Minnesota Foods.
Minnesota Foods, and we're talking about a little bit the Love is Blind season 8, because Love is Blind season 9 is coming out here next week. It's going to be in Colorado. But I mean, let's get to it. Minnesota, the Yankees won Monday. No, the Yankees lost on Monday, 7-0. Simeon Woods Richardson went 6 strong, 11 strikeouts in 92 pitches. Weaver was terrible, giving up 5 earned in a third. Yankees struck out 14 times, and the Twins shut out the Yankees for the first time ever at Target Field, which isn't saying much. I don't know why you made that a big note, because Target Field is like no older than like 10 years old at this point. It's a fairly brand new ballpark. So
it's notable. They play each other every single season there.
Yeah, but it's not that it was like Oco or like Tropicana Field. Think about it like that, or Fenway, they're playing in eternity. So let's chill with that, my guy. Tuesday, Yankees won 10-9. Cam Schlittler was great till he ran into some traffic, going 4 2/3, 4 earned, 5 walks. Very, very peculiar with the 5 walks, but it'll be something interesting that I made note of. Judge was again in right field, and he played outfield in consecutive days since the injury, but he was not having that high velo throw from right field. It was a game the Yankees controlled, but again, the bullpen struggled again. Williams, I mean, we got to give him some flowers. Been elite coming out of the pen for the past couple nights. He got the hold, and then Bednar with the save. And then Wednesday, Yankees got the win 10-5. Luis Heel give up 4 in 4 2/3. Bellinger homered, and Trent Grisham, man, get that man to a steroid drug test, because 2 homer game, 33 on the season. Bullpen did a nice job after a rough outing, going 4 1/3, 0 earned, 6 strikeouts combined from Fernando Cruz, Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, and Camilo Doval. And then you have tonight's game. Yankees won 7-0. Max Fried was elite, going 7 strong, 0 earned, 13 strikeouts, ties a career high, picking up his 18th win of the season, only in 87 pitches. And I think the big thing here we have to note is that the Yankees got length from Max Fried. Think about it. We got to talk about how the Yankees have been playing no off days since Monday. And, the bullpen was used on Tuesday. Bullpen was used on Wednesday. Max Fried gave them the night off. Paul Blackburn finished off the night in a 2-inning save to save the bullpen. 15 strikeouts matches a Yankee season high as a staff in a 9-inning game. Ahmed Rosario with a double. Wells with a single. Goldie with a single. All RBIs. Judge sac fly RBI. Staten 2 RBI. Double. William, I mean, let's talk about it. I mean, could have been better, but I think this is a fairly good week. And I think as a Yankee fan, yes, you're still missing that little like spice left, but I think this is a good start to the week.
Yeah, great start to the week outside of the Monday loss, which again felt like a schedule loss, having Sunday night baseball late on Sunday, obviously. They didn't get into Minnesota until like 3, 4, 5 a.m., something crazy like that. It's something that the Yankees have been struggling with this season because so many opponents want to schedule the Yankees as a night game on getaway day because higher attendance, more people are going to be in the seats. When at a night game versus a day game, and then of course ESPN flexed Yankees Red Sox into Sunday Night Baseball, a game that was originally not supposed to be Sunday Night Baseball. So I'm not saying that's like every excuse the reason they lost on Monday. Simeon Woods Richardson was incredible, but I think that does play into it. They were probably just exhausted and lethargic, and they did not look like themselves on Monday night. Struck out, what was it, 14 times, like you said. They only had 2 hits in the game. Rodon was good, 6 innings, 2 earned, left the Yankees in the situation to win the game. But of course, the offense just did not show up. So that was one of a couple blemishes. I think the other one was the Tuesday night bullpen game, or the way the bullpen performed. You were up 10-1 at one point, and then obviously Schlittler gave up the home run, and the bullpen, Yarbrough went in just a third of an inning, 4 earned, and the Twins were right back in it. But they did have good performances from Williams and Bednar to close it out. So series win in Minnesota, you take it, you move on. The Yankees kind of dominate the Twins. Tonight shaped up to be another schedule loss. The Yankees got in late night. I think they said 3 a.m. they got to their hotel in Baltimore, or maybe even just landed in Baltimore. But they came out and Fried looked amazing. Obviously, the Orioles were traveling back from Chicago yesterday, so both teams were traveling, except the Orioles had a day game yesterday from Chicago, and the Yankees took care of business. They won the game. Offense showed up. It was kind of nice to see them score a bunch of runs without putting the ball in the seats. It was all doubles and singles and a sac fly, no home runs, which the Yankees obviously win most of their games by just hitting a bunch of home runs. So that was kind of refreshing. They beat a decent pitcher in Cade Povich, but tomorrow is going to be the real test when Trevor Rogers is on the mound. Dude's been elite this season. So another lefty test for the Yankees tomorrow. But to your point, overall, great start to the week.
I mean, there was controversy last night about the whole, fiasco of them getting in late, and were they going to land in Dulles, which is an hour away from Baltimore. Me being a little bit familiar since I have family in the area, Dulles is a trek from Baltimore. Would have been unfortunate for the Yankees to arrive 5, 6 in the morning. Dave Sims, the radio broadcaster, made a little snippet. I don't know if you saw it.
Mm-hmm.
We contributed to the Yankees sleeping last night by going to bed early last night. I mean, you go to bed really early. I was in bed by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So I was getting loading up the chopper, as they would say. I think the big thing we have to talk about is Cam Schlittler going 4 2/3. I mean, he was great to start out until he ran into trouble in that last inning. I kind of think, and I think, do the Yankees, and this is what I'm going to ask you, do the Yankees have a 100 mile an hour or 99, 98 mile an hour guy coming out of the pen?
I guess not really. I mean, Weaver gets up there, but I don't think he's hitting 98, 99 and definitely not 100. They don't have anybody that's hitting 100 out of the bullpen.
How would you feel in the playoffs putting in Cam Schlittler coming out in a setup 7th inning role, 100 miles an hour? Think about it. If you look at the stats, the difference between somebody pitching 98, 100 to mid to lower 90s, getting a fastball thrown, like the batting average completely drops. So just take a minute and think about how that would help the Yankees in the playoffs. Because now we're looking into the playoffs. And when you look at the playoff rotation, it's probably going to be Rodon 1, Heel 2, Fried 3. Because that's my opinion. Why? Because I do feel like Cam Schlittler will not give you length. Cam Schlittler is great the first and second time around. And I've seen him a little bit that I feel like he's been very good like that. But when you're in the playoffs, you need length, and he will get the bullpen taxed. So I would prefer just putting in Heel, give me 5 from Heel instead of Schlittler, and have Schlittler come out of the pen throwing 98, 100 gas.
Do you think Heel stuff projects well to be a bullpen arm as well?
I just rather have Schlittler throwing 898, 100 miles an hour coming out of the pen. Just imagine having that arm coming out 7th, 8th inning. Like, that's just demoralizing. Devin Williams is back to great form. If you look at his recent outings, the metrics look great. Bednar's closing. I mean, the question is, and I mean, we could do the ladder of confidence when it comes to the relievers. It comes down to who do you trust in the 7th. I mean, Tim Hill's going to get the lefties. I think that role's saved. But who is it? Weaver getting the 7th? Is it Cruz getting the 7th? Or Doval? It's right now. It's up for grabs. With how the team has played lately, it's literally like who is hot right now, and nobody is giving a convincing argument or being convincing pitching wise to be like, this is my role. Cruz has had his blemishes. Weaver has had his blemishes, and we all know about Doval. So I mean, why not just slam in Cam Schlittler in the 7th, throwing 100 miles an hour to bridge to Devin Williams?
There is a lot of upside to that. It also goes to our theory of like just being a little bit nervous of giving rookies starts in the playoffs. I think it would make sense. Luis Gil had 2 playoff starts last year, both of which he went 4 innings. One was against Cleveland, where he gave up 2 earned across 4, and then one was against the Dodgers in that game 4, where he went 4 innings, allowing 4 earned runs. So not great in the playoffs last year, but it is legit playoff experience versus Schlittler, who obviously doesn't have anything. The thing that worries me about Gil, of course, is the control. The walk rate is not good. He can lose it, and I feel like if that happens, if in a playoff start he doesn't have his stuff, things can really spiral out of control, and he could have a blow up start. I do like the idea of moving Schlittler into the bullpen. He's been so good. I would have it Fried game 1. I think he's kind of proven that he's going to be the game 1 starter based on his kind of performance down the stretch. Great at the start, struggled in like from July 1st to mid-August, but now ever since then he's been incredible. I'd have him game 1. He's just proven World Series winner. He was on the mound game 6 of the World Series in 2021 when the Braves won. I'd have him game 1. If you want to break up the lefties, game 2, I think it's Gil. And then game 3, it's either Gil or Rodon, depending on how you want to work the lefty in there. That's what I would do. I think I agree. Schlittler in the bullpen would be a nice upside there. And, obviously young guy, you're not going to have to see him for a full start. I think it makes a lot of sense. I do. That third starter though in the playoffs is probably the biggest storyline for this Yankee team heading into October.
I just think Rodon has to go game 1. I just think, Rodon has that energy, man. I think Rodon would get the crowd going. I think he has that bulldog mentality. He's a commanding presence on the mound. He's had a great season. I mean, I have my reservations on Max Fried. I've remembered all the Max Fried most of the Max Fried starts in the postseason. So I just want Rodon pitching in that moment. I think Rodon will live up to the moment.
Last year, he had 4 playoff starts last year, 3 2/3 against KC, 4 earned, 6 innings against Cleveland, 1 earned. He was really good that start. Cleveland again, 4 2/3, 2 earned, and the Dodgers 3 1/3, 4 earned. So not great last year in the postseason. Finished that postseason 4 starts, 5.60 ERA, and he's a 6.64 ERA in the playoffs. So it's not like he's, you make the part about the emotion. I think that can go positively or negatively. Yeah, it goes both ways.
But I just think I think that Rodon's a different pitcher this year. I just do think he's a different pitcher.
He's
a different guy than last year.
He is definitely, yeah, totally agree with that. Totally agree.
So I know the comments going to be like, oh, why are you saying that? I just think Rodon's just different this year. That's just me. And it's just a matter, are the Yankees going to go lefty, righty, or are they going to smack the righty in between and separate them? I mean, it'll be tough because, I mean, if you get into the deeper rounds, you don't want to not have Rodon and Fried possibly pitching twice, if you get what I mean. Because if you pitch one if you split them on game 3, that means you're not going to have one for game 6. They're only going to be there for 7, probably, maybe. Yeah. Just how days rest, and depending how the scheduling works.
And that's my question. If the Yankees do end up making a best of 7 series instead of a best of 5, so if they make the ALCS, who's your game 4 guy?
Bullpen it.
Okay.
You can go Schlittler, not Schlittler, Warren, Yarborough, and bullpen it.
I think one of the biggest asset a team can have in the postseason is having a good starting pitcher, that converts into reliever. Like it's not the perfect analogy, but the Mets just moved Sean Manaea into the bullpen, and he looked really good when they went Holmes Manaea this week. I think that's an asset. I think if, Yarborough is a guy that's given the Yankees a lot of length as a starter this year when he was healthy. I think he can kind of be that guy in the bullpen potentially this year. Same thing for Will Warren. Very rocky. I don't have as much confidence in him as I do Yarborough. He's been very up and down, but I think both of those guys could be very important assets for the Yankees out of the bullpen. And even Schlittler, like, I know he's a kind of a power arm, but he could be a guy that gives the Yankees length in the postseason if he's really got it going for a game. Like, I could see Boone saying, all right, we'll give this guy another inning or another couple outs, try to stretch him into inning and a third, inning 2/3, maybe even 2 innings. That's a huge asset to save the pen, because we talk about it all the time. The pen, these high leverage guys get absolutely taxed in the postseason.
I mean, I think the best thing is that the Yankees need to take care of business this weekend against Baltimore, and next week when they get Baltimore again and the White Sox. I mean, you got to save those pen guys, get them ready, because I mean, there's no nights off. It's do or die when you get in the postseason. One bad pitch could knock you out. One bad pitch can change a series. We saw what happened with Nestor Cortez and Freddie Freeman. We saw how it happened with Aroldis Chapman and Jose Altuve. One bad pitch and it's elimination, or it changes the series. And we can see the other part. When we see the other side, how Aroldis Chapman literally changed the dynamic of the Chicago Cubs in that World Series run. I mean, it made them feel great and get to the end. So it's do or die. Load it up and get ready.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're getting really close there. It's exciting.
Oh, it is. It's freaking 10:18 and we're doing a freaking podcast about baseball right now. I mean, William is up at 9:20. He's marathon training and he's literally like still up right now. We're talking baseball. I mean, hey, I'm excited. You're excited. I'm going to LA in 2 weeks and I'm bringing the podcast mic because we'll probably have a midnight podcast review out there. But either way, man, let's not get too far off the subject. I mean, the Yankees look great. I mean, the one thing I do look at, and I mentioned this to you, is that, when I look at the team this year, the bullpen doesn't bring me that much concern, because for some reason, I think the bullpen's going to come through in the postseason. What concerns me is the pitching staff. The missing Garrett Cole might be the biggest what if of this season in the Yankees, because the Yankees don't have an ace. They don't have a guy they can hand the ball to that can be like, hey, give me 7 innings and shut this game down and take us home. Every other team in the American League right now still in it has 1 or 2 guys. Why do we fear Boston? Because Boston has Garrett Crochet, and Garrett Crochet will pitch 7, 8, or until his arm freaking falls off and get you that win. Toronto, Kevin Gausman's had a great year. Detroit, Tarek Skubal. Houston, you can go Framber, or you can go, probably it's going to be Hunter Brown. Seattle, they got Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, maybe even Brian Wu gets a stab at it. They got 3 dudes that are capable of shutting you down. The only team that doesn't have a guy like that is Cleveland, which we'll talk about later. But man, oh man, that's the one thing the Yankees need and miss. And it's going to be one of the biggest what ifs if looking back on the season, because if they had Garrett Cole and Garrett Cole was pitching up to Cy Young or close to Cy Young potential, we're talking about a whole different Yankees team. And a whole different ceiling.
We were texting about that this week of what this team would look like with Garrett Cole in it, and what it is going to look like next year with Garrett Cole healthy. Hopefully, when he comes back midseason, is he going to look the same? You just don't know how these guys are going to respond to Tommy John surgery. He's a little bit older. He's not one of these super young dudes. He's a little bit later in his career. I believe it's his first Tommy John. Could be wrong on that. So yeah, I agree. That's the one thing, is that the starting rotation could go south, man, in October. And when you're looking at, you're probably going to be playing in a wild card series. You got to win game 1, and it's best 2 out of 3. I mean, you got to win. There's just no room for error.
And that's why I fear Boston, because if the Yankees draw Boston, they got Garrett Crochet, and Garrett Crochet is pretty much like, you're done.
Oh yeah,
Like there's like
Yankees haven't
Yankees
hit him
can't
all season.
hit him all season. The only time they were closer to that was that June series that the Yankees blew it because Volpe stole third in the 10th
Yeah.
inning, and that was the Friday night game. My other big thing is, I want to tell listeners and people, I hate this talk about next year. And let's stop talking about next year, because I know we all get lost thinking about next year. This is life, and sports are very similar. Life and sports don't just go up like that. When you expect a team that can go up trajectory, they just don't. My whole point is, when I correlate it into the sports, they're all like, oh, Garrett Cole's gonna come back and he's gonna be close to Cy Young form, or he's gonna be decent enough, and the ceiling's going to raise. We don't know that because there's so many variables in play. What if Aaron Judge has to get surgery this offseason on his arm? What if, Ben Rice doesn't continue this, meteoric rise that he's having this season? What if Trent Grisham just doesn't hit like 30 home runs again? Like, it's all possible. And, that's why I kind of feel, it stinks when you look at this season, that it's like, man, oh man, what if the Yankees had an ace? And every team can say that because, Red Sox, you can say like, oh, what if we had Roman Anthony right now? How different would our season be at this point in time? They could probably be pushing for division, the Red Sox. So let's take this future talk and not talk about it. And let's focus on now and not think like, oh, yeah, the what if, and, oh, when we get this guy, we'll be better. We don't know that. A lot can change and a lot can happen.
Yeah. You sound like Russell Wilson. Let's take this future talk and push it down the road. Let's stop talking about future. All right.
No, but it's true, because I think we all fall victims of it. I think we all do it to a certain extent, because it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna have this guy back and we're gonna get better. Yeah, you'll be better on paper, but will this guy repeat his, like I said, will Trent Grisham go crazy? Will Aaron Judge be okay? Will Anthony Volpe continue to improve or regress?
Well, he hasn't improved at all. I agree, and progress is not linear. It's the first example that always comes to mind, at least in recent memory, is when the Bengals made the Super Bowl and lost to the Rams. Everyone was like, "Oh, well, Joe Burrow's early 20s. They got a bunch of young studs. They'll be back soon." They haven't been close to getting back to the Super Bowl.
They've been close. They've been in title games. They were in the title game, like AFC title game.
Okay.
They remember they lost to Kansas City. You know what the best example is when you think about that? And sorry to bring up Josh again, our resident Philly fan. The Trust the Process 76ers. We have all these picks and all these number one picks. They're all gonna pan out and be great.
Yeah.
We are here in what year of Trust the Process?
I think it's like probably past year 10 at this point.
That's my whole point. It's just like when you look at it, and the same thing correlates to baseball. Like, oh, we have all these prospects. We're gonna be great. I mean, and that's why AJ Preller goes nuts.
Winning is hard, man. Winning is freaking hard. Winning a World Series, it not only takes talent, it takes a ton of luck. Injury luck, in-game luck, just things going
matchups.
It's not just, oh, let's roll out and whatever team, the best roster is going to win. Like, baseball's not like that. And sports in general really aren't like that in a lot of ways. You got to get lucky with injuries and the game flow, man. It's really hard to win. So when you see teams like, a different sport, but like the Chiefs, or, I mean, we haven't had a back-to-back World Series champion since 1999 and 2000 Yankees. And obviously 98 as well. They won 3 straight. Could have won 4 straight. They were 3 outs away in 2001. So it's hard to win. Again, you just want to get into the dance. And if you look at the standings right now, the Yankees are probably going to be in that dance. They are currently 3 games up in the wild card, holding on to that first wild card spot. And they're 3 back in the division. Toronto lost again today, but it is really like 4 because Toronto owns the tiebreaker over the Yankees this year.
So let me ask you a question. And this is something we can ask listeners as well. Are the Dodgers the closest thing since that Yankees team to go back to back?
Yeah, and I'm not going to make my official prediction, but I just feel like people are kind of writing off the Dodgers in terms of the World Series. Everyone's trying to get cheeky. They're trying to pick like the Vogue team, like the Padres to win the World Series, or the Phillies, who are obviously having a great season. They they deserve World Series praise. The Brewers, they've had a great regular season, but when it comes down to playoff baseball, there's a reason I think the Dodgers are favorites. I mean, you look at that rotation, you look at obviously the guys in the lineup. We'll talk about them later, but I do think they are in a great shape to win back-to-back World Series. I do.
So you think they're the closest thing we've had in a long time to back-to-back?
It's hard to, it's hard to think of every single World Series winner.
Because we've had those Red Sox teams with Mookie Betts, Rafi Devers. We had that what other team we had?
I guess the Giants, but
they were every other. We had Texas, Kansas City. Kansas City wasn't going back to back.
The Yankees in 2010, could have.
You also had the Giants, like you said. I just don't know. I just kind of feel like this Dodger team is the closest thing we've had in a long time to go back to back in baseball.
I mean, the Astros.
The Cubs. You can think about the Cubs as well. I mean, the Cubs. I think the Cubs and the Astros were probably up there, but I think the Dodgers are the closest. And I mean, the Cubs. It was that clip that you sent me from Glory Days, Johnny Manziel's podcast, where they were talking about going back to back, and they were talking about how hard it is to go back to back. But I feel like when you look at comparison of all those past 20 years, 25 years close, I think it's the closest teams we've gotten are probably the Red Sox, the Astros teams, and the Cubs and Dodgers, with the Dodgers probably being number one.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't want, and it may be recency bias right now because I'm not I'm just thinking it's off the top of the head, so don't come at me. But I just do feel like, think about a rotation with Yamamoto, Snell, and freaking Kershaw. Glasnow. I forgot Glasnow. Like Ohtani, if he pitches, they legitimately have 4 number 1 starting pitchers.
Yeah, and no one's talking about it because it's Dodger fatigue. It's a legit thing.
Yeah, but let's wrap up the Yankees. We got a little off track. What do you think about the lineup so far? I mean, everything's going on all cylinders. Give us a rating for the week, grade for the week.
Yeah, I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. I did think the lineup tonight was interesting. The infield for a left-handed pitcher, you had Rosario at second, Volpe at short, and Caballero at third, with Goldschmidt at first. Thought that was a little bit of an interesting lineup. Volpe got his first start in a while on Tuesday, so that's something to note. Started again today, of course. Interesting infield. Obviously, it worked out. I think that's another thing that really bodes well for the Yankees in the playoffs is they have guys to put places in specific situations that maybe they just didn't really have as much last year. Like you have guys that can hit lefties, Rosario, Slater off the bench. Those are 2 huge trade deadline acquisitions, in my opinion. You got Jose Caballero, a guy that can play everywhere. You got Jason Dominguez, a guy that can come in, be a pinch runner, or hit against righties because we know he crushes righties. They have, and if Volpe's going to be a bench guy, he's a guy that can come in and pinch run, or he can come in and play the infield for you. I think maybe you got Ben Rice off the bench that can come in against righties or start, obviously, and provide you some pop. He can fit in at catcher. He can fit in at first base. You got Goldschmidt who can be rotated in and out. He hits lefties really well. Like they have guys for certain matchups, certain situations that I just feel like they didn't have last year. And that's perfect for playoff baseball when everything is slowed down. There's so much more strategy involved. Every little move is analyzed. So I do think it just feels a lot different than last year. I mean, remember last year, Rizzo at first base, Verdugo in left field, and they just played the whole game. Like they didn't play Grisham hardly at all. That's another guy, Grisham. He can rotate in and out.
Outfield defense is ridiculous this year. I mean, you got 2 Gold Glovers potentially out there. I mean, you got Goldie who's really good. Not Goldie, but Bellinger and Trent Grisham, two elite defenders out there. So I mean,
and we'll see if Judge's. Yeah, we'll see if Judge's arm gets healthy by October, but he's had actually a good defensive season statistically. So I think there is like an added layer of versatility to this Yankee team this year that should help them in the playoffs.
And I'll say this, I'll close the segment with this. It's getting to that time of the season where we're going to learn a lot about this team and a lot about these players. We're going to learn if these players are built to play in New York and they can handle the pressure. Because, we talk about a lot the New York media and how it can rain on a player and it can help hurt you emotionally and hurt you as a player. we're going to learn a lot if they're real dogs. Do we have a lot? Do we have dogs on this team, or do we have some puppies?
Yeah,
And I mean, it's the lights are on. The lights are always on in New York, but now the lights are nice and wide. You know, instead of the TV screen being 50-inch, it's going to be 100-inch. You're going to be on every single bar. You know, on prime time, TVs are going to be on. Lights are going to be nice and flashing. Camera, every single microphone is going to be on you. So we're going to learn. Are you a dog? Or are you a puppy?
Yeah, I'm excited. This is when legends are made. I mean, we're so close. We're so close. Obviously, got to finish out the season strong and do well this weekend against Baltimore and see how things shake out in playoff seeding and everything like that. As things stand, the Yankees would be the 4 seed playing against the Astros. And they would, if they win that, they would play the 1 seed in Toronto. So lots to play for between now and then, though.
Lots to play for. But I mean, that's a perfect segue to talk about the week that was in Major League Baseball. I mean, a lot happened in Major League Baseball this week. I mean, a lot of series, a lot of playoff implications. I think we're all tapped into the AL. The AL wild card is providing some fireworks. But before we get to the AL fireworks and all that, let's talk about a historic day in baseball that was on Monday. September 15th was Roberto Clemente Day. It's an initiative done by Major League Baseball to honor the life and the legendary legacy of Hall of Famer and the humanitarian Roberto Clemente from Puerto Rico, recognizing players for community service and charitable efforts. So, I mean, great cause on Monday. I know Carlos Rodon was nominated for his foundation helping infertility, I believe. And so a lot of players get nominated. We have some great humans that play the game of baseball. So shout out to those that were recognized and that played. But let's talk about the games that were. I mean, do we have any NPC series, William, this week? Yes, we did. We had 2 NPC series. We're just going to run through these quickly because y'all, I'm sorry, Braves, Nationals fans, Baltimore fans, White Sox fans, I'm sorry. Your team one day will get the limelight of this podcast, but right now we have an AL wildcard race, an AL West division race, and an NL wildcard race we got to talk about. So Braves swept the Nationals. Braves won on Monday 11-3. Tuesday game 1, Braves won 6-3. Then they won 5-0 and Tuesday, and then 9-4. Matt Olson's had a nice September with his 28th home run, hitting homers 26, 27, and 28 this week. Chris Sale had a nice game on Tuesday. And then Baltimore versus the White Sox. Orioles swept all 3. Orioles are 11-4 in September as they win Monday 4-1 and 8-7 on Tuesday and 3-1 on Wednesday. William, any thoughts on those 2 series?
You mentioned Matt Olson. In September, he's hitting .383 with a 1.291 OPS and 7 home runs. He has been incredible this month, and he plays every single game too. He's played every single game this season. He's one of a few players that have done that. So he's probably my starting first baseman for Team USA.
Interesting. Will be an interesting podcast when that one comes out in a couple months. Team USA talk, but we'll continue. Meaningful series. I mean, let's talk about the Northsiders, the Chicago Cubs. They swept the Pittsburgh Pirates Monday. They won 4-0. PCA hit a homer, going 2 for 4, 2-hit game for Dansby Swanson. And then Tuesday night, Cubs won 4-1. Paul Skeens went 3 2/3, 3 earned, 7 hits, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, and 92 pitches. He got chased early. Well, not chased early, but they ran it up on him. And then Wednesday, Cubs won 8-4, clinching their first playoff appearance since 2020. William, tell me how the series is. Tell me how the city is feeling. Is the city on fire, or what's going on?
I think this week did kind of wake up the Chicago casual Cubs fan to the team this season that they're putting together. Good sweep. I think what stood out the most is the fact that they beat Skeens and got him out of the game early, the shortest outing of the season for him, 3 2/3. Cade Horton was great again, going 5 innings, 1 earned. And it's their first time going to the playoffs since 2020. If you look at the way the bracket is shaping up, the Brewers won again tonight. The Cubs actually lost against Cincinnati, which we can talk about that game toward the end. Probably the division's over. The Cubs aren't winning the division, so they're pretty much set up for the wild card, and it looks like they're going to be hosting San Diego. So we're going to get 2, potentially 3 home playoff games in Wrigley this season. And I'll tell you right now, I will be in attendance for one of them. Got to figure out how it works out with the Yankee schedule, but I will be dipping into the savings a little bit to go to one of these games in Wrigley, because postseason baseball in Wrigley is just different, man. It's different. It's one of those stadiums, Fenway, Yankee Stadium, LA, the Dodgers, and Wrigley really stand out in terms of playoff atmospheres. And they have not had postseason baseball with fans in the stands for a very long time in Wrigley.
I mean, you're talking about wild card. I mean, you don't know what can happen. You know, there's a team that's making a push for the wild card, right?
I know who you're going to say.
The Miami Marlins, baby. Miami Marlins got a 3-game sweep versus Colorado, winning 6-5 on Tuesday, 8-4 on Wednesday, and 9-7 on Thursday. Hey, man, the Marlins, the road to October are as follows. I need the Mets to go 2-7 or worse. The Giants to go 5-5 or worse. Reds 5-5. Diamondbacks 3-6. Cardinals to go 6-3, and the Marlins to win 8 out of their next 9. And if we do that, we are in the playoffs. We got a series next week against the Mets. We control our own destiny. So
you do not control your own destiny. In no way do you control your own destiny. 6 back in the wild card right now. They do play Texas, Philly, and the Mets. So absolutely brutal schedule to finish out the season. 70-80. It's not going to happen. I think the goal for them is to win 76. I mean, it's been a successful season regardless for Miami. They can still play spoiler, knock Texas out, knock Philly out, or play spoiler with the Mets and knock them out of it. The Mets go Washington this weekend, which they have to win every single game. If the Mets somehow lose that series, they do then play the Cubs in Wrigley and the Marlins in Miami. So it's not going to happen for the Marlins, but they are still alive on September 18th, which is tip of the cap to them.
Hey, can I tell you something? Miami does crazy things to people. Do you remember that Odell Beckham boat incident after the Giants clinched the playoffs? Hey, I don't know about Mets players, but hey, Juan Soto with those $800 million, I don't know, man. Something could happen. You know, maybe they get a boat. You know, we have a boat debacle. You know, New York media would love a nice little scandal to finish out the MLB season for either the Mets or the Yankees.
It was a good series for the Marlins. They did sweep the Rockies, and the Rockies only have 41 wins. I believe it was the White Sox last year that only had 41 wins as well. The Rockies still searching for that lone win to make sure they don't tie the White Sox for worst record of all time.
Do you know I have a stat for you on the Rockies this season?
What's that?
I was talking to my guy Rob, one of my really good friends. You know Rob, but the Rockies attendance is now higher than in the World Series season. When they lost the World Series, their average attendance was 28,978. Now, with 104 losses and counting, 30,777 people.
I mean, I don't even know. Is that a testament to baseball being in a good spot right now? Is that a testament to the fans in Colorado?
It's the Coors effect, my guy. It's the Colorado effect. There's certain places in America that you take a vacation to. I mean, Miami, you know, those numbers in Miami are a little bit inflated for all those, you know, out of town fans. So I think Denver's one of those places in America, if you get what I mean, that has their attendance increased for recreation and tourist purposes.
Yeah, that's fair. Interesting.
But let's continue. San Diego Padres and the Mets, big series going down for the wild card. Mets winning 2 out of 3. Mets won on Monday 8-3. Clay Holmes, as you said, went 4 strong, 2 earned, 2 strikeouts. Then Sean Manaea went 5 strong, 1 earned, 4 strikeouts. It's saving the pen. Michael King costing himself some money. 3 innings pitched, 8 earned, 10 hits, 2 strikeouts. Tough season for him. Really started off the year really well, but injuries caught up to him. You had 2 hit games from Lindor, Alonso, and Nimmo. Padres won on Wednesday 7-4. Soto hit homer 41, tying his career high in New York. Machado hit a grand slam in the 5th to give the lead 6-2 to the Padres. 14th grand slam of his career. Hey, Soto almost hit the tying home run in the 7th, but it was just foul outside the pole. Then he struck out by Mason Miller. And then Thursday, Mets won 6-1. Jonah Tong gave him 5 strong. 0 earned runs, and 8 strikeouts. Juan Soto becomes one of 3 players in Major League history, 40 homers, 30 stolen bases, and 100 RBIs and 100 walks in the season. That is Jeff Bagwell and Barry Bonds. Those are some ridiculous numbers. No trolling aside, and regardless, I mean, Juan Soto's had himself a season for starting out slow and doing this pretty much in the summer months. To think about it, like talk about a season he's had. But I mean, both of these teams don't inspire confidence to me due to their lack of pitching. I mean, the Padres, it's pretty much, again, who's their number one guy? Who, they have a great pen, but how are you getting to the pen? And the Mets is like, it's a roulette. I'm really rolling the dice with my life again when I'm going to pitch.
Yeah, that was a huge series win, though, for the Mets. That things were in free fall after losing that series to Texas. They did win the game on Sunday against the Rangers, and they picked it up again this week against the Padres. So I feel like San Diego's kind of stuck in that second wild card spot right now. The Mets aren't going to catch them. They're not going to catch the Cubs. They're not really playing for much at this point because I think the division's over. They have no chance of winning it. So they're just trying to get things right, get Michael King as many starts as possible before the postseason. Obviously, he'll probably have like one more, maybe two. I think one.
They need him. They need him in a bad way.
They need him. They need Pavetta. He hasn't been great of late. And then, of course, Cease. There is potential for the rotation to be good in the playoffs. It's just there's other teams you feel better about. And then the Mets, Jonah Tong is going to get one more start. Shaping up to be next Wednesday against Chicago, which I'll actually be at that game. Is he a playoff starter for them? Because David Peterson didn't have a good start this week. On Wednesday, he gave up 6 earned runs across 5 innings. I thought he was kind of going to be their number one guy. Nolan McLean's been good. A lot of questions for that starting rotation. The Mets, like I said, they got Washington this weekend, which they got to win that. All in all, this was a much needed series win for the Mets. And yeah, Juan Soto has been probably better this season, honestly, than last year, for being honest. If you look at the counting numbers, 40 home runs, 30 stolen bases, 100 ribbies, 100 walks. Only 3 players in history have done that. Crazy. He's carrying them.
Yeah, no, my question is like you said, who's the Mets 3, which I think that's a food for thought in the next podcast or playoff preview if they make it. Who's their 3? Who's their 3 guys? I mean, at this point, right now, just quick hitter, I just don't know. I think there's like no wrong answer.
I don't think Mets fans know.
I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I literally think like whoever 3 that they throw out, I mean, there's like obviously going to be pros and cons. Like if you tell me that it's going to be Jonah Tong, Noah McLean, and David Peterson, or Clay Holmes mixed in there, or Sean Manaea, I don't know. It's literally like who knows at this point.
It's a crapshoot. The thing with the Mets is if they make the playoffs, even if they're the 6th seed, I can see them going on a run because that lineup has the potential to be potent. It's not a team you want to get matched up with in the first round, in my opinion. Like the best 2 out of 3, Soto, Alonso, and Lindor hit a few home runs in the series. They can win it. If they're going out to LA to play the Dodgers, which it looks like that's what's going to happen if the Mets make the playoffs. It's a tough series, going up against what the Dodgers have in the starting rotation. But I mean, they got the talent in the lineup, that top half of the lineup, some of the best hitters in the league. They could win. It's baseball. Anything can happen.
I mean, the playoffs is about moments, and you need players that can produce moments, and the Mets have those players to produce moments, and that's what matters. They got, like you said, some of the best hitters in baseball to do moments. So,
yeah.
One team that I do have a concern because I don't think they have those players for moments to rise up to the occasion is the Milwaukee Brewers. Yes, the Milwaukee Brewers are having an incredible season, and we love what they do in Milwaukee. Milwaukee swept 3 from the Angels, winning 9-2 on Tuesday. Freddie Peralta went 6 strong, 10 strikeouts, and 1 earned with a season high in Ks. Wednesday, they won 9-2, and then they won today 5-2. I mean, the Brewers have players that can produce at the playoff level and that can produce moments is my question to you. Is a Freddie Peralta ready to take that next step, or is it going to be Christian Yelich?
That's the question. Jackson Chourio, is he going to show up in the postseason? The thing with the Brewers is they have the pitching, the starting pitching, in my opinion. Those guys that can produce those moments, those guys that can go 5, 6, 7 innings in the postseason with Peralta and Woodruff. Woodruff has been really good this season. I feel like no one's talking about how good Brandon Woodruff's been in a contract year, by the way. He's going to be one of the bigger names on the market this offseason. Mizorowski is a rookie, but he's got the plus stuff. He's the power arm. I think he can be there and give them a good start in the postseason.
Wait. You're forgetting about one big guy.
Priester?
Yeah, your boy.
Quinn Priester, he's there too. They have the pitching. The bullpen took a huge loss losing McGill. I haven't heard any updates on his injury. Jordan Montgomery is on the roster now. They traded for him. Obviously, he's out for the season. Jose Quintana just went down with a strained calf on the 14th of September. Yeah, I mean, it's the thing with the Brewers is really, can they keep that voodoo magic going in October? Because it's been working this regular season. Again, I think they should get a trophy for some type of winning the regular season, or if they end up finishing with the best record. But people are going to remember what they do in the playoffs, and it's going to be relying on a lot of people that the casual fans have not heard of. Bryce Terang, Isaac Collins, Caleb Durbin, Joey Ortiz, Sal Frelick, even Jackson Chourio, who can be a star in this league. Most people haven't heard of him. Who's the most famous Brewer? Probably Christian Yelich, right?
Yelich, and didn't you probably think Contreras because of name value, because he's a Contreras brother?
But even then, like the casual baseball fan probably has just heard of Yelich, and even that's kind of borderline, I feel like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Who's the guy that can produce moments for this team?
We'll see. Playoffs, all about moments. All about moments. Freddie Freeman, grand slam last year. Juan Soto, clutch home run. Those are the two that stand out the most.
Jose Altuve, home run off Aroldis Chapman.
That's the second time you've brought that up on this. Why are you bringing it up? You want me to bring up the Rams pass interference call, the Minnesota Miracle? There, now we're even.
I think you're more than even. I think I'm gonna have to bring up another one.
Okay, the muff snap, Michigan State. There we go.
I wasn't gonna do that. I was thinking in baseball terms. I'm thinking baseball, like, moments. Like when you think about it, Cody Bellinger when he went on that run too, like that homer. That was the COVID year, I think, right?
For who?
For the Dodgers.
I thought you were talking about against the Yankees. Yeah, he did have. Yeah, when they won the World Series, he did have a clutch hit, I feel like, but I can't remember
I can't remember. I think it was the COVID year they won against the Rays.
It was the COVID year, yeah.
Yeah, so regardless. Let's talk about the Dodgers. Phillies and LA had a great series. Phillies won 2 out of 3. Phillies won 6-5 in 10 innings on Monday. Johan Duran blew the save as Andy Pajes hit the home run and tied in the 9th. Phillies clinched the East off that win. David Robertson came and closed it down. I mean, how old is he? Tuesday, Phillies win 9-6. Christopher Sanchez gave up 4, but went 7 strong, 6 strikeouts. Rafael Marchand hit a 3-run homer off Blake Trinan, make it 9-6 for the Phillies. Johan Duran got the save. Ohtani became the first player to hit 50 homers, 50 Ks, and the only other player to do that was Babe Ruth and then he became the first player to hit 50 home runs in consecutive seasons since A-Rod in 01-02. Wednesday, they won 5-0. Blake Snell went 7 strong, 0 earned. Jesus Luzardo went 7 strong, gave up 4 earned, 6 strikeouts, homers from Ohtani and Freeman. Again, the lineup was shut down. Phillies only had 3 hits. And bigger news, Clayton Kershaw announced that it will be his last major league season. So, hey, I'd like to give credit to a great career, which, I mean, we'll probably do a whole episode segment about how great Clayton Kershaw, probably the best lefty that we grew up watching, for one. And two, I mean, going out on top too. I mean, still pitching quality innings. It's not like he's going out there like Wainwright and other pitchers and struggling at the end of their careers, so hats off.
Yeah, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. That was some big news today. This was a really fun series. The Phillies clinched the NL East officially on Monday night in that 10th inning win. Duran blew the save, but they won it in the 10th. And then, yeah, Phillies won 9-6 on Tuesday, like you said. Chris Sanchez, good outing for him. That was a fun back and forth game as well. And then Dodgers kind of did what they did. Blake Snell, really good start on Wednesday. They shut the door, 12 strikeouts, 112 pitches. There was that moment where Dave Roberts came out. He wanted to take him out of the game. Blake Snell said, no, I want to stay in. Those are some of my favorite moments when the pitcher says, no, I'm staying in here. He convinces the manager to leave him in the game, and then he got the out, got the strikeout. He was fired up. That was a big moment for the Dodgers. So, yeah, fun series. That could be a playoff series, playoff right now they're shaped up. If the Dodgers did beat the Mets in the wild card, the way it's currently shaped up, they would play Philly in the DS, which would be a fun series. That series deserves a best of 7. I feel like those are the two best teams in the National League this year. The other side, I mean, okay, sorry, the Brewers do exist. I know. But if we're talking about, in my opinion, the best chances to win the World Series in the National League, I'd probably lean Phillies, Dodgers. So I would love to see those guys play in the NLCS, but probably not going to happen the way things are shaping up right now.
I agree. Another team in the wild card race, Giants and Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks did a lot of help to their wild card hopes, winning 2 out of 3 Monday. They won 8-1. Zach Gallen making himself some money. 6 strong, 1 earned, 6 strikeouts, 100 strikeouts with the 1,000 strikeouts with the Diamondbacks this year. Giants only had 2 hits. Diamondbacks got 6 in the 6th. Bryce Eldridge had his MLB debut. Diamondbacks won 6-5 on Tuesday. The Giants were up 5-3, but D-backs scored 3 unanswered. And then Wednesday, Justin Verlander went 7 strong, 3 strikeouts, 3 hits, 0 earned, 2 walks. Been great as of late. Brandon Pfaadt and the pitcher's duel went 9 strong, 0 earned, 7 strikeouts. Diamondbacks had the bases loaded, 1 out. Bottom of the 9th, tied at 9-9. Tied at 0-0, but didn't score, which is crazy because Corbin Carroll hit a rope out to right field, and he got a triple, which it was looking spooky for the Giants. But Giants got 5 runs off in the top of the 11th off of John Curtis. I mean, it just stinks because I feel like this series kind of just shows that they're on the same level. And I mean, it's just a lack of consistency. And I mean, it stinks for the Giants that, I mean, you can't close out a game. I mean, they had closer issues because they lost Randy Rodriguez. They traded Camille Doval. And then, you can't get, zilched in a playoff type atmosphere, not playoff atmosphere, but a playoff type game that you're in right now with the Diamondbacks.
Yeah. I mean, again, a lot of the fact that they're in the playoff race is a testament to just the Mets completely collapsing. But the fact that the Diamondbacks are even in this thing with a week or so to go in the season is crazy. They're only 2 back in the wild card right now, despite losing Corbin Burns to Tommy John, Justin Martinez out for the season. They also lost AJ Puck. They traded away Eugenio Suarez. They traded away Merrill Kelly. They kept Zach Allen. They traded away Josh Naylor. They've dealt with, it's just been a season from hell for the Diamondbacks this year. And the fact that they're even there at this point is crazy to me. And a lot of it is because of Geraldo Perdomo. The dude is 5th in all of baseball in F-WAR this season. He's been just incredible offensively, defensively, some of the best bat-to-ball skills in the entire league. Probably the singular most underrated season this year, Geraldo Perdomo. They got Ketel Marte, who's having a good season. Corbin Carroll, who's just going to lead the lead. He's just going to lead the league in triples every single season that he plays. He's truly, again, one of the better hitters in all of baseball. He's currently 7th in F-WAR on the season. They got guys in the lineup. If they can sneak into the playoffs, they're probably first-round exits. But they're interesting because Zach Allen's been a lot better in the second half. They got the lineup. It's not an easy lineup to get through. Best 2 out of 3 series. Maybe they win one. You never know what happens in baseball. But I ultimately think they just miss out. But it's been an interesting season from them.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have said it better. Let's close out the NL here. Reds 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals, winning Monday 11-6. Cardinals won 3-0 on Tuesday, 6-2 on Wednesday. I mean, Noel Arenado returned for his first game since July the 30th. Mason Wynn got shut down recently. We forgot to mention that. But again, Reds just wanting more consistency. Ellie De La Cruz needs to get better defensively. Too many errors from him at the shortstop position. Gotta clean it up. Has more than 20 errors plus this season, which is near the top of the majors. You can't have that from your shortstop, and especially from your franchise player. Again, I mean, the Reds, I just want to see them invest into some hitting. That's my big thing with the Reds.
Yeah, shortstop. He definitely leads shortstops among errors, right?
More than Volpe, 100% more.
Yeah, he's got more than Volpe. ESPN's not the best way to find it. I don't know. And then we can also talk about, since we're talking about the Reds. They did win on Thursday night, 1-0. Hunter Greene, first time going 9 innings. He went 9 innings, shutout baseball, only 1 hit, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts against the Cubs. It was the hungover Cubs because the Cubs celebrated making the postseason yesterday in Pittsburgh and they popped the champagne. So Cubs were definitely hungover, or definitely not themselves after traveling from Pittsburgh to Cincy with the champagne, the beer, everything. They weren't 100%. Colin Ray was good tonight, 7 innings, 1 earned, no walks, 11 Ks for Chicago. The only one was a Will Benson RBI double in the 4th. So the Reds did win again today, and they moved to, I believe, a game over 500. They're 2 back of the Mets right now. And they play, obviously, the Cubs the rest of the weekend and Pittsburgh and Milwaukee. And I'm just going to look up the season series because tiebreaker could be important.
I mean, it's tough. I think the Mets are still going to eke it out. I mean, Ellie has 24 errors on the season.
Good God. And by the way, they do own the tiebreaker against the Mets, 4-2. So that could mean something.
It could mean something, but I mean, it's tough. That's my thing.
Let's look at. I'll show you the pitching matchups. Again, the Cubs aren't really playing for much at this point. It's Nick Lodolo versus Shota Imanaga, Zach Littell versus Javier Assad, Andrew Abbott versus Jamison Tyone. And they do face Skeens next Wednesday, so they don't avoid Skeens when they play Pittsburgh.
It's going to be tough.
When they do play the Brewers next weekend, the Brewers might not be playing for anything at that point. So.
But the Reds have had like this generation, like this past couple of years, the Reds don't play the Brewers well at all. Trust me.
If you had to make a pick for one of the teams to pass the Mets, which again I don't think it's happening either, who are you favoring? Reds, Diamondbacks, Giants?
The Reds, but it's just like I just don't, because like the Diamondbacks or Giants are just they're just the same to me at this point.
They're all the same to me. They're all mid.
They're all mid. I mean, it's not like the AL where it's more interesting, which I want to get to talk about, and I want to just let's package this all together. I'm going to run through a couple series, rapid fire. Texas at Houston. Houston swept the Rangers, winning 6-3 on Monday, 6-5, and then they won 5-2 on Wednesday. They secured the series victory this season, retaining the silver boot, winning 7 games versus the Rangers to 6. Jordan sprained his ankle, which is a big injury for the Astros. Astros getting really hit by the injury bug this season. Not great. He's going to be out sometime, according to Joe Espada, which is a huge loss looking at their playoff because they're in the mix. Then you got the A's in Boston. Talk about the mighty A's this season, man. Winning 2 out of 3 on Tuesday. They won 2-1. Then Red Sox won 5-4 on Wednesday, and they walked it off with a pinch hit for a fielder's choice. And then they've had 11 walk-off wins. That is the Red Sox. And then the A's won 5-3. Brent Rooker hit homer number 30. And I mean, just to talk about a little about the A's, not to get too sidetracked, but the A's have been quietly one of the better teams in the American League in the second half. Again, they're 30-19 since July 24th, which is the best record in the American League and 3rd best in Major League Baseball. This year, they've committed a little bit of a franchise record in which 3 players with 30 or more homers in the same season in athletics history, and that is Nick Kurtz, Shea Langoliers, and Brent Rooker at 32, 30, and 30. The last time they did that was 2019, Matt Olson, Matt Chapman, Marcus Semien. And before that, it was 2001 with Jason Giambi, Eric Chavez, and Miguel Tejada. So talk about that as well. Again, also, after trading Mason Miller, the A's since July 24th, their bullpen has been one of the major league's best. And they rank number 1 in ERA at 2.76. In the AL, they rank number 2 in WHIP at 1.13. They rank an opponent batting average is first at 208, and then they ran 0.638 in opponent OPS, which is first in the American League. The ERA at 2.76 is number 1 in the American League and is the major league best since July 24th. So talk about those mighty Las Vegas / Sacramento / Oakland A's. What's up?
That's 2 months of sample size. That's impressive. And I feel like that is going to be what everyone points to in their A's previews next season of like why the A's are going to make the next step, the second half statistics, and then they'll probably let us down again.
And we'll be disappointed. Again, it goes about like linear. It's just like, oh, They have Leo DeVries. They got this guy coming up in the pen. They made this signing. They spent money in the offseason, and that's what's going to happen. And then finally, the last series that impacts is the Seattle Kansas City series. Mariners won 2 out of 3. Mariners won. Actually, there's one more. Mariners won 12-5 on Tuesday. Wednesday, Cole Reagans came back, giving the Royals the win 7-5, and then the Mariners won today 2-0. And then finally, I think the listener's choice series, I like to say, is the Cleveland Guardians versus the Detroit Tigers. As I said, listener's choice, the Cleveland Guardians swept the Detroit Tigers. I know there's a lot of happy Guardians fans saying that they're making the playoffs. They won Tuesday 7-5 and 10. They won 4-0 on Wednesday. And on Turk's Skubal start day, they won 3-1. Cleveland leads the season series 6-4 with a 3-game set next week in Cleveland. So, William, let's unpack this. I think the questions that I have for you is, do the Guardians make that run? I think that's been the listener's biggest question to me. Do the Guardians make the run and win the division or make the wild card? Does Boston slip out too? And who wins the West? Also, you can add the number 2. Does Houston slip out? So you got 3 questions right there.
I know there's so much going on every single day in the American League and obviously across baseball, but some crazy races. Cleveland is officially knocking on the door. It felt like it was totally out of the realm of possibility last time we recorded, but they're only 3.5 back. They own the tiebreaker. Assuming, they don't get swept against Detroit, they'll have that tiebreaker against them. Detroit, they got Atlanta this weekend. They do avoid Chris Sale, which is huge. And then Cleveland and Boston. Cleveland, obviously, they play Detroit this next week, and they play Minnesota for 4 and Texas for 3 to wrap up the season. If I had to make a prediction, I'm still going to say the Tigers hold on by the skin of their teeth. I do think there's a very good chance that the Guardians do end up making the playoffs with the way Boston's been playing. Boston's got a tough schedule the rest of the way. They play the Rays this weekend, Toronto, and then Detroit. So I feel like Cleveland's schedule is easier.
They do. And I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility because they do own the destiny next week with that series against Detroit. So if they keep playing good ball, Atlanta's no slouch. I think Cleveland does have a chance. I have a friend, you guys know him, Patrick. He sent me a bet slip, plus 10,000 odds for Cleveland to win the division.
When did he put that in?
September 13th.
So like last Saturday, right?
Yeah.
They were probably like 7.5, 8.5 back at that point.
Hey, they're knocking on the door. And Detroit's not playing really good baseball either. Detroit's they're 3-7. They got to get it together. Like I said, Detroit needs to get it together, or this great we can just give them the first half trophy and congratulations.
Yeah. Detroit's kind of like that dude that starts out the marathon running a 7-minute pace, and then by mile 22, 23, he's running like an 11-minute pace. The way they're finishing. It's kind of
struggling to finish.
It's the complete opposite of what they did last season, where last season they were running a 12-minute pace to start out, and they finished running a 7-minute pace, got hot, made the playoffs, obviously lost in the first round of Cleveland. Cleveland, what they're doing is crazy. The fact that they're even in this, they have a negative run differential. They're 30th in average, 29th in OBP, 29th in OPS, 27th in runs, 21st in home runs, 12th in stolen bases. The starting pitching numbers aren't good either. The bullpen numbers are pretty solid. It makes no sense. They're just winning games, and they're not hitting a lot of home runs. They're kind of just dink and dunk you to death, and they're a game and a half back of Boston. If you're Boston, I think they're officially nervous. You got to be, right?
Boston, you got to be nervous. I wanted to ask you a question. Did Major League Baseball institute a trophy for most valuable rookie? I think most rookie of the year and most valuable rookie, they're 2 different players this year. I think the most valuable rookie this year is Roman Anthony. Look how that team has turned without him. And I think rookie of the year is Nick Kurtz, in my opinion. Roman Anthony has him not being in that lineup has completely changed the trajectory of Boston's season. Boston is holding on for dear life. Thankfully they have a guy in Garrett Crochet they can give the ball to every 5th day. But, man, they just lost the series versus the A's. That Yankee series was really tough. Could have lost that one on Sunday, but they lost that one. And then it's just been a tough month. They did win the A's series, but then they lost the Diamondback series. Then they won the Guardians. It's like they're not playing consistent baseball. That's my thing, and it's very interesting to say. I mean, what do you think? Most valuable rookie and rookie of the year, should that be something we should look at doing moving forward for us as podcast guys?
It is an interesting thought. I do agree that Roman Anthony clearly, it's crazy how one rookie has had such a major impact on a team this year, but the Red Sox are completely relying almost, it feels like, on Roman Anthony. He's been so important to that lineup. There's a direct correlation between when he got called up, they started winning, and when he got injured, they've started losing. They have a losing record in the month of September. They looked rough this week against Oakland. Sacramento, whatever. They looked bad against the Yankees last week, and it just feels like an entirely different lineup with him in it and when he's out of it. So they got a tough stretch the rest of the way. The the Red Sox own the tiebreaker. They won that season series 4-2. So that is an important note if they do end up tying. As a Yankee fan, obviously, I'd rather see the Guardians in the playoffs than the Red Sox. I think any fan would. Trevor Story, 31 for 31 on stolen bases this year. He set an American League record for most consecutive stolen bases without getting caught at 31. Really impressive. The most stolen bases in a row to start a season, Vince Coleman with the Cardinals in 1989. He stole 44 straight, 44 for 44. And then if you want to pivot to the West, I'm still on Seattle. They do have a huge series against the Astros this weekend. They are tied for first in the AL West right now. Brian Wu, Hunter Brown, George Kirby, Framber Valdez, Logan Gilbert, Jason Alexander. Should be a fun weekend. Cal Raleigh broke Mickey Mantle's record for most home runs in a season by a switch hitter, and then he tied Ken Griffey Jr.'s record for most home runs in a single season with 56. So 2 home run night on Tuesday for him. He was great. Dominic Canzone had a 3 home run night. He went 5 for 5. And then Carter Jensen, the Royals catcher, had 2 home runs. He had his first 2 career home runs in that game. So good series sweep for the they won 2 out of 3. But good series win for the Mariners, setting up a very exciting weekend in Texas.
I mean, the Mariners had a 10-game winning streak going into that second game of the Royals series. So I mean, that's probably the hottest team in baseball. That's the team I'm trying to avoid playing in the playoffs right now.
They terrify me with the pitching, the hitting. They got everything. And if you look at the season series, Seattle's killing them 10-3 right now.
My question is,
that's Texas. That's versus Texas, not versus Houston.
My question to you is, forget the season series. Who are you most concerned to miss the AL wild card? Boston or Houston?
Boston.
I'm more concerned about Houston with all those injuries.
Season series tied 5-5, right? By the way, with Astros Mariners. So this weekend's for everything. Really? You think Houston could miss it? I don't think Houston's going to miss it. I think they'll be in the playoffs.
I don't know. I think it'll be tight. But I mean, the Guardians playing. I mean,
let's look at the. Yeah, I know the Guardians are just throwing a wrench in everything. So Houston goes Seattle, Athletics for 3 at Sutter Health, and the Angels to wrap up the season. The Angels stink.
They might be playing for their life next week in the Angels. They got to win. Yeah. They got to win one of these next 2 series. If not that Angels series, they need to sweep them and pray that Cleveland's not putting belt to ass to everybody. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I know. The way the pitching matchups shape up this weekend in that Seattle-Houston series, I feel like it's how it would play out in a postseason series. Wu, I think, would be the Mariners game 1 starter. He's going against Hunter Brown. I think they would start him game 1. And then Framber versus George Kirby. I think that would be your game 2 matchup. And Logan Gilbert versus Jason Alexander. Jason Alexander has been pretty good for the Astros this season. That would be your game 3 matchup. So they're playing for everything. Season series tied 5-5. Divisions tied up right now. Quite literally everything is on the line this weekend in Texas. Very excited for it.
So is Boston. Boston has a big series to end versus they got the Rays tomorrow, and then they get Toronto and then Detroit. So be very interesting.
Crochet is shaping up to get 2 more starts. Friday in Tampa, so tomorrow, and then Thursday in Toronto against Bassett. Oh man, they have and that's the last place you want to play. We talked about it, 50-25 at home this season.
They got to go up to Canada, man. So, I mean, Toronto, perfect segue to Toronto. Toronto split versus Tampa. not too much of a big deal. I mean, Toronto would need to collapse this last week for the Yankees to throw a dent in. And I think the AL East is kind of safe and sound up in Canada.
Yeah. Trey Yashevich, MLB debut, was drafted in last year's draft at ECU. He made his debut on Monday, 5 innings, 1 earned, 9 strikeouts, tied a Jays record for most strikeouts in an MLB debut. So that was notable. Good start from Ian Seymour on Wednesday, 7 innings, no earned for the Rays. They won that game. Chandler Simpson, 3 for 4, 2 doubles and a ribby that night. Also had a nice home run robbery. Tampa clinched the season series against Toronto for the 8th straight season. Not that it really matters that much, but Toronto goes Kansas City, Boston, Tampa. Again, I think they take care of business. They're 3 up, but really 4 up on the Yankees right now.
Last thing I'll say, tough series for Texas. Tough way to end your season in Texas. Texas is probably dead and gone. So. But I mean, that was what's up?
They're 4 back. So in the wild card, they're cooked.
But great pod, man. I mean, that's a great way to finish out the pod. I mean, we got pods are coming hot and heavy. They're just gonna be coming. I mean, it's 11-11. Make a wish. I know William already has his wish made. I think you guys know that the Yankees win the World Series is his wish. So
they haven't won one in a long time.
I feel that podcast. I think I'd just let William do it by himself. I wouldn't show up.
No,
I don't know how that podcast would go.
I hope we make it. I mean, I got to make a podcast when Michigan won the national championship with Joe. That was always a dream. Now I got to fulfill the dream of the Yankees. Not that I control anything to do with their play on the field, but I want to see them win a World Series, obviously.
So we'll see what's up. But I mean, thank you for listening. Make sure you follow us on TikTok, X/Twitter, YouTube, subscribe on YouTube especially, and make sure you give us the follow on Instagram. William, anything to close out for today?
That's all I got. Fun episode.
We'll be back Sunday night, right? We'll do another one Sunday night, and then they're going to be coming hot and heavy.
Yeah, Sunday night or Monday morning, depending on timing. But yeah, they're going to be coming hot and heavy. We're going to be up some late nights in October recapping these games. So I'm excited. It's the best time of year for sports.
I don't know if William's ready for that late because, like I said, I got a wedding in Los Angeles. Podcast friend of the pod is getting married. I'm going to be in LA. Time difference, so
we're going to be at a wedding in mid-October. So we should do an episode in person.
Oh, we're going to have an episode in person. We're going to be recording before the wedding. What are you talking about?
I know, before the wedding. Yeah.
It'll probably be 9 o'clock in the morning, or we'll probably have to record Monday morning. We'll probably have to record pre and post wedding.
Yeah, we'll see. Who knows what the schedule shapes up. I'm super excited though. I can't wait. Cannot wait. Luis, thanks as always. Thank you guys for listening. We will be back on either Sunday night or Monday morning. Until then, we'll catch you next time. Peace out.